All right, good morning. Today we're going to be looking at the human body system. First, we're going to start with the circulatory system. The circulatory system transports blood throughout the body. It is comprised primarily of the heart and blood vessels, carrying blood throughout the body. Now, here we can see in this little diagram, we have the arteries colored red and the veins colored blue. No, your blood is not blue inside of your body. Circulation is caused by your heart beating in two separate stages. First, the atria, both left and right, will contract. This will pump blood into the ventricles, as you can see in the little diagram up there, number one. In the second stage, the ventricles contract, and this pushes blood throughout the body. Arteries and veins are two different types of blood vessels. Arteries carry oxygenated blood away from the heart. Veins bring the oxygen poor blood back to the heart, where it then goes into the lungs, exchanges the carbon dioxide for oxygen, and the cycle repeats. Capillaries are the smallest blood vessels. These exist on the surface of the skin. These are the little tiny blood vessels that go through and usually are what cause the blood when you get cut. Speaking of blood, blood is composed primarily of red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Red blood cells transport oxygen. White blood cells are part of your immune system, and platelets are the particles that prevent blood loss when you cut or scrape your skin. Basically, they help it to clot. The respiratory system is responsible for respiration. This is the process by which your body exchanges gases, used gases, and brings in new gases. Respiration is made possible by the respiratory system, which you can see here. Biggest organ in it is your lungs. Now, inside of your lungs, once the air comes into your trachea, it splits into two tubes called the bronchi. Each bronchus, singular, goes into the lungs, where it goes into all these little tiny bronchioli, which then go to the sacs, the alveoli, which are responsible for transitioning the oxygen and the carbon dioxide. Integumentary system is your skin. It serves a lot of different functions. Mostly, it acts like a suit of armor that keeps your insides in and your outsides out. It helps to regulate your body temperature through sweat glands. It contains the nerve endings that allow you to sense the world around you. Here we have a nice little built-up diagram of it. Your skin can be thought of in three layers: the epidermis, the dermis, and subcutaneous fat. The digestive system, as we saw in the gizmo last week, is a group of organs that takes in and digests food and eliminates the solid wastes. Excretory system is where you excrete wastes. This can include water, carbon dioxide, salts, urea. In this, we have the kidneys, liver, lungs, and the skin. This is where we get rid of the wastes and things that are in the body. Your skeletal system is what gives your body shape, protects your vital organs. Your brain is completely encased by your skull. Your heart and lungs are surrounded by your rib cage. It helps to give you form and shape, and it gives a place for muscles to attach. Inside of your bones, you have the bone marrow. This is where blood is produced. Here we can see the axial skeleton in purple. This is what gives us our main support, and the appendicular skeleton in red, which allows a lot of the movement in the body. We have the muscular system. This is what attaches to the muscles and gives us movement. Now, there are different types of muscles. You have cardiac and smooth muscles, and the major function of the muscular system is to move the bones for our support so that we can move. The nervous system, primarily made up of your brain, your spinal cord, and your nerves. The brain is the central portion of your brain. Brain is the central portion of your nervous system. And we have the main central nervous system, which is your spinal cord, which then goes out to your peripheral, which is all the nerve endings that go throughout your body. Neurons are little parts made up of billions and billions within your skull. This is where you get the different abilities to think and um, where the processes take place. So that neuron's broken up into three parts: the cell body, the axon, and the dendrites on the outside of it. Here we have your brain. This is what allows you to move, regulate your body, pretty much everything else that your body goes through. We learned in the homeostasis gizmo that the brain is responsible for regulating your body. Your brain has three parts: the cerebrum, the largest part, the cerebellum. This is what gives feedback, body, balance, things like that, and the medulla. This is what controls the portions of your body that are what we think of as automatic responses: breathing, heartbeat, things such as that. Vision. Every time you see something, it is light. Light reflects off of things, light bounces off of objects, and it's what allows you to see things like color, images, brightness. Your eye is a sensory organ. You have photoreceptors in the back of it, rods and cones, rods for light, cones for color. And color as we see it is part of a spectrum. Color that you see is actually color that is reflected. So when you see red, what you're actually seeing is red light reflected, where everything else is absorbed. Here you can see the electromagnetic spectrum, where we have red at the low end of it and violet all the way up at the highest energy end of it. Color as we see it is actually built on three colors: red, blue, and green. As they mix together, we get different colors as how we perceive them. I know that we think of color in terms of red, yellow, and blue, where you combine yellow and blue and you get green. But as far as light goes, it's actually right here on this spectrum. When you combine red, green, and blue, you get white. If you take all of them away, you get black. There is the human body system. If you guys understand this, we will talk to you later.